Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast election episode brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Looks like they're having an absolute great time in Stuttgart. Shin opened up. Everybody's there. Boss is there. Looks like they're slinging some shotgun shells, enjoying the new Shin West, I guess.
I saw on the Big Honker podcast page, the Facebook page, there was a bunch of different people that are on it that were there at different times taking pictures of being in there and stuff. Yeah. Good for them. And then I saw the guy y'all saw in concert at Shin Fest.
Jordan Davis?
Jordan Davis. He was singing at the Alabama LSU pregame on college game day. Yeah. And he had a Shin hat on.
Oh, I'll be damned.
I looked up and I told the ladies in the kitchen, I said, he's wearing a Shin hat. And then it said his name. And then JC said y'all met him at Shin Fest.
She did.
She did?
She did, yeah. We got...
Her and Lisa went.
Yeah, Lisa from Boss. She met him at a fair. He remembered her.
Smart man.
He remembered her.
Good for him.
She said, hey, I met you a year ago. And he said, that's right. I can't remember what the fair name was, but he did.
Good for him.
But yeah, she was pretty excited.
Well, good. Well, he was at
I was glad that the women were there because I had, no offense, Jordan Davis, I've never met you before, but if
not your cup of tea.
I had no desire to go back there.
No, I don't blame
and shake his hand and whatever.
Would you have went back there if been Carrie Underwood though either?
No.
See,
no.
Taylor Swift, you wouldn't either, would you? See,
I really can't think of anybody that I would do that.
There's not one person that I can think of. It's a celebrity that I would go out of my way. President Trump, I would shake my hand and get my picture made with him.
If he was having a meet and greet at Shin Fest?
Anywhere, I would. Yeah. If I had an opportunity.
If you had a meet and greet badge on for President Trump.
I would shake hands with him and get my picture made with him just because I think he's
I would do that.
Big dog. I would do that. But there's not very many other people that
It's a handful.
Yeah, they're a very small handful for me. I can't think of anyone that's an actor or an actress. And I can't think of a singer at all that Charlie Daniels I would have loved to meet. I think Bo Cephas I would like to meet.
So this doesn't have anything to do with Charlie Daniels, but it does have something to do with David Allan Coe, the guy that wrote The Ride with for David Allan Coe. Mm-hmm. He said that's a true story. He was drunk, and
he has no idea who he rode with.
He was taking cocaine, and he said he got like pissed off or whatever, and he summoned Hank Williams, and they just took a ride.
So guys, he was smoking mushrooms or something.
I swear. That's
interesting.
That's what he said.
I did not know the song David Allan Coe sings about. My friend Steve Goodman wrote the perfect country and song, but it didn't include trains or mama or getting drunk or prison, and so I added a few. Did you know that guy really died like at 32 or 33? Yeah, Steve Goodman died at a young age. I saw that not long ago, which is a great song anyways.
So he added all that for...
He said...
David Allan Coe?
Yeah, she said, I'm going to come... He says during that song...
Right.
David Allan Coe says, so my friend wrote this new verse, and I'm obliged to include it on this album and go something like this. I don't know how true that part on the end was or not, but anyways, that Steve Goodman, he died pretty early.
Let's see if
that night I was drunk and on cocaine, and I looked down that hallway and I had a seance going on. I said, Hank, show yourself. Hank, damn it. And I started cussing him. And I said, Hank, why are you so big? Because you died young? I looked down that long, dim hallway, people. Hank Williams was sitting on my couch. He had on a fedora and no shirt, and he was smoking a filterless cigarette. I said, Mr. Williams, we got to write something. He was there. I felt his presence. His image only stayed visible for maybe a minute and a half. Then he disappeared visually, but he was with me. It was his idea to do the ride. How else would we be together? We were riding back up to Franklin to his old house, but he cried just south of Nashville. I don't blame him. He turned that car around. This is where I get off, boy. I'm going back to Alabama. And I remembered Miss Audrey's line. You don't have to call him Mr. Honey. The whole world called him Hank.
So anyway,
that's pretty interesting, though.
I think he was on more than
He wrote a hell of a song, though.
He did.
That's one of the best country songs. That's one of the best songs ever.
Do you know who Miss Audrey is that he's referring to?
His wife, Hank Jr.'s mom.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm asking you a
And if you read this
question.
song "Conversation" that him and Waylon Jennings do,
Yeah.
it's so. Oh, Miss Audrey loved that man.
That's his wife.
That's Hank Jr. talking about his mom.
Okay.
Miss Audrey, she sure loved that man. It's a good. I like Hank Jr. I never was a big Hank Williams fan. I was dead way before I was ever born anyway.
Yeah, he died in the 50s, I think.
But I never was a big listener to any of his old music. I like Jambalaya. I think that's a great old tune. But I like Bo Cephas a lot. Always have. And very good entertainer and a good dude. It seems like he likes to hunt and fish. He's a regular guy.
Yeah. I don't know who Gary Gentry is. I don't know if he wrote any other
I have
songs, but
no
The
clue.
Ride is a hell of a song.
It is a hell of a song. I can look it up real quick on Wikipedia.
You don't
and
have to
see.
call him Mr. Honey. The whole world called him Hank.
Yeah.
So he was pissed off on cocaine and alcohol and summoned Hank Sr. Hell of a...
Makes a good story if it's true or not.
I'm sure it was real to him. I've never done cocaine. And now it's too dangerous to do cocaine because of fentanyl. So I guess I missed my opportunity.
The Ride.
Gary Gentry was the guy's name.
I looked him up. He's not on.
He's not? Really?
I looked him up on Wikipedia, which I usually have all of it. The Ride. Country singer songwriter David Coe's song recorded background of Gary Gentry told. Yeah, there's no Gary Gentry on here. So that must have been the only song he ever had then.
Wonder if he could retire off that.
Back then you could, and that some bitch was on the radio about every 15 minutes. I mean, it was on all the time. Let's get into the heart of what's going on in the world.
The meat and potatoes?
Yep.
We did it. We did it. He's in office, or not in office, but he's president-elect.
We fulfilled our job as Americans, and he won the popular vote. What do you think about that?
So I said early on, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I was telling some friends, I said either he's going to win he's not going to win a close election. If it's close, they're going to figure out a way to get her over the top. So it's going to have to be definitive. What's he at? 75 million votes now, I think, right at it.
75 million, and she's
66.
She's at 70. All the California votes are coming in.
I gotcha.
It's gonna be, when it's all said and done, he's gonna be about 75 million votes, and she's gonna be about 73 million, I bet.
That's not as bad. So Biden allegedly got 81, right? Mm-hmm. So where are those voters? You think many?
Do you want me to tell you what I think?
Do you think that many people just stayed at home?
No, I don't at all.
Mail-in ballots?
If you look at the statistics, since 2008, when Obama won his last election,
he was, what, 69? He never did top 70, did he?
65 million, I think. But there's a chart, and it shows what the Democratic vote has been 63, 65, 66, 81, 67, or 70. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of had the same trajectory going up just a little bit at a time. Well, Biden got 81 million.
Yeah.
Trump still got more votes than he did last time.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that 14 million people set out? No, they didn't set out. Or it's going to be about 12 million votes less probably. Those 12 million votes were manufactured. I don't think they're real votes.
Trying to find the graph that I've been seeing. Let's see. Votes. Here, maybe. Maybe it's this one. Nope, not that one. Anyway, it's just, did COVID really bring in that much cheating?
Yes, it made it so easy to do that because of mail-in ballots. And they could mail in extras, and they were ballot harvesting all over the place. And I think that's what happened. And I think this vote, they knew it was too big to cheat. I really believe that. And I think there was things in place now to keep it from doing it. I just texted it to you, which is wanting.
What, that graph?
Yeah, that you're wanting. But I think that it was too big to cheat first, and I really believe that. I believe wholeheartedly that they just could not cheat this time. Mm-hmm. And I think they was going to, and they wanted to try, and it was just too much. And I think, I'll tell you, there's two things in the election that happened that that the people on the left are having such a problem with. On my threads, which is an Instagram kind of page like Facebook where you can write stuff, I don't ever post on it much, but I read it all the time. And for some reason, my analytics must have me as a Democrat because all I get is Democratic stuff.
Mine does that. Mine's doing that on Twitter for whatever reason. I'll see a lot of stuff to the right, and then I'll see a lot of stuff to the left. So, I mean, which is the way it should be in my mind.
Yes.
I mean, everybody keeps calling Twitter this alt-right movement, but I mean, it's pretty fair and balanced. But like, I'll wake up one day and I'm like, why am I seeing all this shit? So yeah, there it is for people watching either on YouTube or Spotify. Obama, 65 million, kind of both times, 2012 and 2016.
No, 2016 was Hillary.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it showed 08. I'm sorry.
It does. It's 12 and 16, but that can't be right because it shows Trump getting less than Hillary. Oh, it did too because he didn't win the popular vote. That's right. Yes.
And then it spikes the 2020 year, 81 million. We've all heard that. And then right now, at the time of this graph, she was at 66 million and Trump was over 70 million.
Yep.
So just 15 million people just stayed at home.
Trump's got about the same votes he got last time. When it's all said and done.
Oh, right. Yeah, because that didn't even have him up there yet.
No, and he's going to get a little bit more vote. He's going to get more votes this time. Right now, he is officially at 74,312,000. He's going to end up over 75 million votes probably. And that's going to be more than he had last time he did this. He got more votes already this time than he did last time. Her deal, though, went from 81 to 72. So it's 9 million votes. I don't think 9 million votes is going to make it. It's all manufactured votes.
I'm just worried that they're being too civil.
Who?
The Democrats.
It's because they lost, but they lost the popular vote.
I just feel like something else. There's going to be another shoe to drop. I'm afraid.
Like, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. But they're all just like, we got to get behind Trump now. And Biden called him to the White House. Trump's going to go. And I don't know. It just seems like everything is kind of going too easily. We'll pause a second. Yeah. Okay, we're back. But it just I don't know. They've called him every name under the sun. They've called him Hitler. They've called him a dictator. They've called him a tyrant. And now here we are 4 days later, and they're like, "Oh, you're right. Let him in."
I don't think they have any recourse if they don't. I think the people spoke, and they weren't expecting the people to speak this way. I'm not saying there's not something going to happen. I don't think so. I think it's going to be I think we're fixing to see a huge transition in our country to the people are finally going to get some power maybe. And I may be wrong, and I may be very, very, very stupid to think this, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think mainstream media is done. I think this has backfired on them big time. I think people have had enough with The View and all this stuff and all this rhetoric. I think you get the same 10% of people that buy into all this shit. Mm-hmm. Now, when is everybody moving out of the country?
I've already heard Tom Hanks did. I don't know if that's a Twitter. I don't know if it's a Twitter, thing or whatever. But I have heard he left. But that could also be because of Epstein.
That's going to be a big factor too.
You're right.
I think the Epstein.
Told you we were leaving.
Yep. I think the Epstein factor is going to play a big role in the coming up. Elon Musk and Robert. I'm more excited about Robert F. Kennedy.
Oh my goodness.
Running the FDA than I am anything at all.
Did you see his tweet? Let me see if I can find it. Basically, it was he said we're gonna shake some shit loose in here, and he told these organizations, he said, hold on to your records and pack your bags.
That's what they should do.
So he said, don't go tearing shit up. Don't go erasing, your messages and all your files. Keep all that. Keep your records and pack your bags.
I'm a firm believer that for the first time, even more than last time, we're going to have some change because I think President Trump learned a lot from a lot of mistakes he made as president last time.
Well, he said that.
With who he was on his cabinets and all that. He said that, yeah. And I think that he's going to do it. What's funny is Hamas now wants to negotiate a ceasefire. Yep, they're done.
Putin wants
Putin and Zelensky.
Figure out a withdrawal.
Zelensky tweeted the day as he won and said, congratulations, President Trump. I can't wait to get down and sit down together and work out our relationship as long as we've been friends of all. Zelensky, I got news for you. Your checks ain't coming no more.
Yeah,
we're done with sending checks.
Hope you put some of that in the savings account because it's over with.
And but I really, really believe that we're going to see some things happen, like clean medicine and like clean food and things that people in America really, really want.
That was one of my biggest issues going into this election was let's clean some of this shit up. There's a reason why we are the most unhealthy nation in the world. I mean, I'm not saying that cigarettes are healthy, but for a long time, people smoked a lot of cigarettes, and we're way more unhealthy now than we ever were when we smoked cigarettes as a nation.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. People, you watch films, people are fat and out of shape.
Right.
I saw today, I saw a thing about babies. As soon as a baby is born, they rub erythromycin or something. They got something I can't pronounce.
I don't know.
They've got something.
Erythromycin?
Yeah, or something like that. No, I don't think that was either, but it's something that they rub on these babies as soon as they're born. Some kind of cream or something they put on them. And then they give them a Hep C shot or something else that they said.
Yeah, they do give them a Hep C
And they
shot.
said, all this crud and stuff that we didn't do a long time ago, we need to figure out what's going on with our kids being autistic. And that's what we're going to work on.
Here's what RFK said. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics. Hell yeah, let's go on the psychedelic train. Peptides, stem cell, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds. Don't know what that is. Ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, vitamins, clean food, sunshine, exercise. Another word I can't pronounce. He's a smart guy. And anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA and are a part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. Preserve your records and pack your bags.
So they need to do that. I'm with him 100%. I want that. I want to see us get to where when we go to somewhere to eat, you're getting the regular food you have. I get sick and tired of hearing about people that go to Europe and eat these fatty, nasty foods.
Yeah.
They don't feel full. They don't feel bloated. And it's everything in America, and then we have let them do that to us over the years. And I'm excited about that. I'm also really excited about Elon Musk working on government spending.
So how does that work? Because he's South African.
He's just going to be a advisor.
Could you do that with Mr. Wonderful too? The Shark Tank guy?
Yeah, you could. Kevin O'Leary.
Really?
Yeah, any of them guys. Now you can't he's not going to hire him as a cabinet member. I don't think. He can make him a czar maybe. But he's gonna sit down and go over the books and stuff. I listened to Mark Meadows talk the other day, and Mark is I think he was a Clinton financial advisor, an Obama financial advisor, or some shit. He's a Harvard ex-president of Harvard. He's maybe the current president of Harvard, and he was like, "It's absolutely no way that he can do that. He doesn't know what he's talking about." Blah blah. Yeah, Elon Musk don't know shit about business or nothing,
right.
But you do because you've been in academia and you've been on the government employee for a long time, and you're an expert on money because all they do is keep raising taxes, but we don't have no money nowhere.
Yeah.
And another guy interjected. He said, "It's $5 trillion." He goes, he might be able to cut $2 trillion off. Right. What if he only cuts $800 billion off? You know, still, we're fixing that money, and we're going to quit sending it everywhere. The left completely right now, their argument's all the same. Well, they're going to take all that money out of Social Security. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. That's not where that money's coming from. They're going to get rid of the fraud. You know, you take away all of the Ukraine's money, and you could have built that wall 100 times.
Yeah.
Now their argument is we can't afford if it's going to cost $10,000 to send each person back that's here illegal. How much money do you think we're going to spend on them in a lifetime if they're over here?
Yeah.
So I'm all for bussing everybody out. Sadly, there's going to be some people out there that are going to get caught in their deal that are probably good people, but they should have had their paperwork done. And they're going to get sent back too.
How long have you had? I mean, you know, like you said, I feel bad for these people, but some of these people have been over here 15, 20 years.
They've just taken for granted. They're not ever going to send anybody back.
Right.
Go get a work visa.
It costs too much to send us back, so we're safe now.
Go get a work visa and come back over here and do things the right way. And it's going to be that way. I'm curious. They say he's going to shut the border down. Do you think he's going to like completely stop it down on January 21st or 22nd, whatever day it is?
I would, if I were him. I would just, at least for a little bit, we're done.
Are we going to have planes going to Mexico too, or are we going to shut everything down?
I would just be, no, just the border.
Just the border.
Yeah.
Because everybody flying in here, it's easy to vet them.
No, I would be done for a little bit. Let's see what's here. And, you know, 'cause, I mean, he said day one, like they're knocking on doors. People are leaving.
And they need to be.
By the thousands.
Yes, and that's right. And these people are like, and then it's like, well, my threads, I get to read a lot of interesting liberal stuff. One of the liberal things is, well, what makes you think they're going to be able to get these people, you know, you're just going to come round them up and take them away and stuff, and just it's so unfair, and that's not what the people want. The people voted. I mean, we got the popular vote too, and the popular vote, they've told everybody what they're going to do. Yeah. And the other answer on the left is, what makes you think these countries are going to take them back? I seen what he said. If they want a dime out of us ever again, they're going to take them back. Mexico's an easy deal. All you got to do is say, we're not doing any money transfers to Mexico. Right. All them people that are sending money back, they're not sending any money back no more. I
think people didn't even see a tenth of how big of an asshole Donald Trump really is.
Oh no, they have not.
Like how cutthroat. Like he's not running again. This is it. Like this is his second term. Like what's he got to lose?
He's going to
piss some people off.
He's got an agenda now,
right?
And he ain't going to be kissing anybody's ass.
And he's learned from what he's said in interviews. He's learned that a lot of people that he said, I didn't know how to govern. He said, I got people telling me this guy will be good for this lady will be good for that. And then they get in these cabinet positions, and he's like, some of them are stupid. And he's like, that's just, I didn't know how to govern at first. He knows what he did wrong the first time, and he's not going to fuck around, I don't think. And I don't think these countries, if they think that they're going to take advantage of Donald Trump in a deal.
Oh, I think they know better than that.
I mean, just like you said, you're not going to take him back. You're not going to get anything from us.
Yep.
I don't give a shit if it pisses you off or not.
Yep.
So I think I'm very, very hopeful that this time around we see a lot of change. And I could be setting myself up for heartache or whatever, but I think he's got a lot. I think just RFK, Tulsi, Elon Musk, just those people alone, there's a lot to be excited for as a nation.
Yep.
And another thing I saw, Texas is more red now.
Yes.
I know a lot of time. I think 2016 and 2020, you know, it was starting to look like we were losing the valley. And
2012, we really got blew down around the valley.
Really?
And then 2016, it was still pretty much.
Yeah.
It was starting to change. Valley's red.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to the Latino voters, or the Hispanics or Mexicans, whatever you want to call them. And the people say, well, yeah, they don't like Trump. Bullshit. Them fucking people they like him. Mm-hmm. And the Hispanics voted, I think 45% voted Republican this time.
Yeah.
And the black people want him. I mean, he's at 20+% on that too. The Democrats took advantage of minorities for the longest time, and they did everything they could to put their thumbs on them and control them.
Yeah.
And that ended on Tuesday. It really did. I think the Democratic Party is going to be completely different. They're going to have either the far left or they're going to get moderate, because if they keep going far left, they won't win. If Trump does what I think he's going to do, I think J.D. Vance is going to be a shoe-in for
28.
For 28. Now, you sat in that chair and I sat in this chair the day after the debate.
Which debate?
The debate, Trump and
Kamala?
We'll have the
Harris?
Kamala Harris. And I said, Trump lost the debate and he's going to win the election. And you said, I think he's done. And I said, no. I said, people have got 2 months to buy groceries, pay for their electric bill, pay for insurance. Never in that time frame did I ever think we were going to tell the good people in North Carolina they were getting $750, and then the next day write a check for $400 million to... How'd you get in here?
You just nuzzled that door open.
To Ukraine. I never thought in my lifetime that's what would happen. I'm going to go put him up. Okay, but I never in my life would have thought that they would do some of the things they've done to not help themselves, the Democrats. That I think that North Carolina deal, the 750, I think that's a big part. I think if you look back and they had polling that was pretty accurate, you're going to see that was a huge flaw for Biden, Harris, whoever the hell it was. Mm-hmm. And
she also didn't get the governor from Georgia. Why would you not have done that?
Got the governor of Georgia? What do you mean?
Shapiro.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
No, it's Georgia, I thought.
Brian Kemp's the governor of Georgia. Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania.
Who was the guy on the short list for
Josh
Georgia?
Shapiro. And they didn't get him. See, I didn't know if they didn't get him or he turned them down. I was thinking he turned them down because he thought she was going to lose and he didn't want to be on the losing ticket and not have a shot in 28. It's Shapiro.
Shapiro is, but I could have swore that one of them should have been from.
No, it was him from Pennsylvania.
I thought there was a guy from Georgia that they were looking at also.
No, they were looking at a guy that was an ex-astronaut from Arizona. And it looks like Trump's going to win Arizona. He's going to hit 317 or something.
Are we going to get the House too?
Yes, we're going to have the House and the Senate.
But I thought that Arizona is still a little fugazi.
Yeah, I don't
for
understand.
Kerry Lake.
Well, it is, but they're still at 70% on their election. Right now, Arizona is got 82.65% of the votes in, and so and Kerry Lake is not in yet on that. In the Senate right now, we have 212 seats. We are plus two seats right now.
We need 218.
Yep, and the Democrats are at 200, and we should win it. It looks like we're probably going to be about 223, probably, maybe. And then in the Senate right now, we are sitting on 53 seats, and we've got it already. And the Arizona seat has not been called, and it is 1,394,000 against one. She's 35,000 votes behind, but they're still only at 82%. I don't understand how you can only be at 82% a week later, almost. I mean, they're 5 days out.
Florida was done an hour and a half.
Yes. My friend Douglas, we talked about that. You know, Florida had the big problem with the Chad in 2000. Was it 2000 that we had the Chad Al Gore election?
Yes.
Was in 2000, and they had that Chad. Since then, they have been the model state for elections. Mm-hmm. All states should be like Florida. There is no reason why the U.S. cannot have a federal election and not have results within 6 hours. I think they ought to put the military in charge of them, is what I think you ought to do. And you can have and I'm not talking about a 5-star general sitting down in the deal, because that's not what I meant. What I mean, oh God Almighty,
What happened?
woo,
Smoked him?
oh my God, look at him! Wow, that hurt.
Watching the Miami Georgia Tech game.
My gosh, what he got face masked and he got planted. That's going to be 2 big penalties right there, because that's going to be a 30-yard penalty, I bet.
How did that call in Baltimore not get called?
They're terrible.
Joe Burrow got slapped in the head, which is a flag.
They 2 holding calls.
Yeah, and then the receivers got mugged.
Yep.
And no call.
Same thing happened in the Minnesota game.
Where was the money at, Jeff? Follow the money.
Minnesota game was the same way, too.
Follow the money is all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm just saying follow the money.
Watch this play now. Here it goes.
Ooh, running back, too.
Watch, he gets face mask right
Jesus.
there.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Told you.
It's one of those hits you saw back in the 80s. That's a Ray Lewis type hit.
Oh, that's a big-time hit.
Is that face mask? He didn't know where he was. Here it comes. Whoop. Jesus.
Hey, actually hit him in the chest.
That was a clean hit.
Yeah, it was a clean hit.
Clean hit. Hit him right. Squared him up.
Wally jobbered him.
That's what got him, though, right there. He didn't see it. Bam.
God almighty.
He'll look like a defensive lineman,
He'll
too.
talk about that when he's 65 years old to his grandkids. By the time the guy from Miami lit his ass up.
He did, too. Poor fella.
Oh, his helmet was already coming off. That's what it was. Oof. He pulled his helmet off. He's lucky.
99 just laid the wood on him.
Well, he did.
They are not afraid to show this replay.
Anyways, I told you that people buying groceries and stuff.
You did.
But I did not realize the last 2 weeks of her campaign she was just going to go deal. And I don't think it really mattered. I don't think there'd be very many fence sitters waiting until 2 weeks out. I think if you love America and you're sick and tired of all the woke bullshit, you voted for Trump. And I think that's what it come down to. They didn't have anything to talk about but abortions and how much of an evil person Trump is. And when I read my threads now, I read all these people that are saying stuff like, well, we're going to lose our Social Security, or we won't be able to buy groceries, or we're not going to be able to buy medicine. Where did all this happen? He was president
Right.
8 years ago, he was president. And for the first 3 years, the world was great. Nobody lost any rights to anything, but they've just bought into this stuff so much.
Well, now a lot of people are coming out and saying, or asking, were we lied to the whole time? Like, was Trump this big of a boogeyman?
That's what I'm saying. I think the mainstream media has lost their pizzazz now.
Right.
I don't think they're even going to be I think you're going to see a transformational change in the United States of America.
Well, people had their own smell test to this, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just, like you said, Trump was already president once and the world didn't fall apart. I mean, I know we had January 6th, but that was Nancy Pelosi's fault because Trump offered her the National Guard.
Yep. They kicked that kid out.
What?
Yep, kicked him out for targeting.
Why?
I don't know. I think it was a pretty shitty call.
That's a bullshit call. He hit him right in the chest.
Now, the kid's helmet was already coming off.
Well, I mean, it's happening at 100 miles an hour. You can't kick that kid out.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But people had their own smell test to everything. He'd already been president once. The sky did not fall. All right. Things were very, very good until COVID hit us. And then and like you said, people still had to go pay their bills. They had to buy groceries. A lot of people saw what housing costs are right now. And it just, like you said, I don't give a fuck if anybody has abortion rights if I can't feed my family.
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You could only take abortion so long and found out it's not as important as everybody thinks it is. And there are people out there that they're so worried about their daughters having an abortion.
One guy said he voted for Harris because of it.
Yeah, I just don't want. I just don't think abortions are that damn common. And I might be wrong, but I just
you said 1 million a year.
Yeah, but that means there's 50 states. There's 20,000 in each state. I mean, so there's 1 million a year, and there's 300 million. So one out of every
3.6 million babies are born in the United States a year,
and there's 1 million. So 25% of the babies are being aborted. That's crazy. That just shocks the shit out of me.
That's a pretty big number.
That just blows my mind, though. That I don't. And how many of them actually out of that million are 10,000 of them emergencies that have to be?
I might could look that up. I can just look up that are elective or that are medically necessary. 1 to 3%.
Okay, so 1% of 1 million is 10,000. So 30,000 out of 1 million are medical emergencies.
Well, yeah, we went over this number before.
So 900,000.
75% are elective. 20%. 20% the woman aborted for social or economic reasons. 1.67% woman's psychological health was threatened by the pregnancy, and 1.5% the woman's physical health was threatened by the pregnancy.
So out of 1 million, 10,000 of them is something you would talk about at Thanksgiving dinner, probably. Right. Where, what's wrong with Stella? She's really upset. She had to have an abortion. The baby was going to be born stillborn, whatever it was. Spina bifida, the mom was going to die, whatever, and everybody's really sad for her. The other 990,000 of them,
75% no reason, 20% the woman said, I can't afford this.
Well,
so either way.
So basically over 900,000 of them, they're not telling people. They're not sitting in dinner and saying Dee Dee got drunk at a sorority party and got knocked up and now she's having fucking kids.
Right.
People don't care. It's not that big an issue to the American. The media made it an option. Mm-hmm. That's all they want to talk about. Women's health rights. That's all you heard the whole time, and how evil Trump was. I didn't hear one time Kamala say, I've got a plan. I'm going to make them grocery prices down. I go, well, what's your plan?
Right.
I mean, tell us what you're going to do for our country. I'll tell you some things that surprised me in the election. Back to Texas a minute ago. Texas is going purple. I had a big argument with some jackass in Wichita Falls at a TV station. Texas is not a red state, it's a purple state. Texas looks pretty fucking red to me. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten redder. Ted Cruz winning. The deep state tried everything they could to keep Ted Cruz. Even Mitch McConnell wouldn't spend any money. Right. And still Ted Cruz won by 1 million votes. So that made me very proud of Texas for what we did there. And I was a little concerned about that.
About Cruz?
About Cruz. I was really concerned about that. But because that guy was a lying sack of crap. And yeah, big time. And I was glad that now the Democrats are wanting Sotomayor, is that her name? The old lady they're wanting her to retire today.
And have Kamala.
And then have Biden get to pick a Supreme Court justice.
They want a Kamala up there is one thing I read.
Well, they of course they would like to see her put somebody in there. But the thing is, they're not going to do that. They're not going to get someone vetted and processed through here in 6 weeks.
What is the filibuster?
That's when you just talk.
No, I know that.
Oh.
But they said the filibuster is going to remain intact, like there's one going on now.
I don't know which case they're talking about.
Well, I don't either.
But Congress isn't meeting right now.
That's what I thought.
I don't think they are. I don't think that.
But I heard McConnell say the good thing about Trump winning is the filibuster will remain in place.
I have no idea. I
didn't either.
Well, they're going to continue.
I mean, I know what a filibuster is. Were they going to take away the right to filibuster?
They might have or tried to. We're going to see. I don't think Congress will meet again. I don't know if they do. I don't think they'll meet till they get the new Congress in and they swear everybody in January. So I don't think they're going to do Supreme Court justice. I do think Clarence Thomas will retire probably about February or March, and Trump will stick in a very conservative person that's going to really piss the people on the left off. And then that Sotomayor lady, they're hoping to hell she don't die.
Right. Yeah.
Is what they're planning on. But if something happens to her, we're going to have another one. And I would not be surprised if Chief Justice Roberts also steps down. I would love for Trump. Could you imagine if he
got
gets
3 more?
Oh, yeah. He would have 6 of the 7 ones that he had done. Well, they would really raise hell about it.
It's 7?
There's 7
There's 7 of
Supreme Court
them?
justices, and he would have 6 of them.
How many? What's the balance of power now? Is it 4-3 or 5-2?
It's 5-2, but it's really about 4-3 because Chief Justice Roberts is being blackmailed. So it's 4-3 basically. Mm-hmm. But he's going to take Clarence Thomas, who's as good of Supreme Court justice as we have, and he's going to probably retire. And when he does, he'll get to put in another conservative. Boy, so Joe Biden got to replace one Democrat with another Democrat.
They will freak out.
Oh yeah, but it's going to happen. But why shouldn't it be? And they say, well, why? They're all about what we can do for the left. Well, it's not all about the left. We showed that we're the majority. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is we're the majority. There's a lot of people in states that didn't vote that are red states because they didn't feel like their vote counted. And I'm sure there's probably in red states. There's a lot of people in Texas that didn't vote because they figured, Trump's going to win Texas anyways.
They would have voted for Kamala?
No, they would have voted for Trump, but they just didn't vote. They thought, my vote, it don't matter. So you really don't know. Anyway. You really don't know what the numbers are. Same in California. I'm sure there's some people in California that didn't vote because he's going to win our state anyway, or she's going to win our state, and they didn't vote. So there's a lot of that going off back and forth, but the majority of the people spoke. People have had enough and they want change. We're sick of our money going everywhere else. We're sick of sending our kids off to fight politicians' wars. We're sick of the money machine that's the war machine. We're sick of big pharma. We just want things to be the way it is. We want to keep our own money. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see the end of income tax within the next 18 months.
I hope so.
I do. I really believe that's going to happen.
Boy, that'd be sweet.
And there's no reason we should have it.
What, are accountants still going to be a thing?
Yeah, because companies will have they'll have some things to do, but they just won't be income tax. Mm-hmm. You'll still pay taxes on business things, but you won't have an income tax.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. I get so tired of, these big companies don't pay for their fair share. Those big companies provide fucking jobs.
Right.
You forget about that shit. If you're employing 20,000 people, you're doing a big service to the world.
Surely the no tax on tips will happen.
That's going to happen.
Kamala ran on it, so her base had to be for it, right?
The politicians in Washington, D.C. have no reason to do anything except to cut taxes and make taxes better for everybody. The American consumer is tired of it. Mm. They're broke, but their biggest issue is watching us give. Big portion of this country had no idea how much money we gave away.
Until Ukraine?
Yeah. And Ukraine ain't the only one stealing our fucking money. No. But they've gotten a bigger portion of it than anybody else. And that little cheese ball comes over here begging for money and going to Congress. Those days are done.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see a big change in our tax codes to fix it. To make it, taxes should be easy.
It should.
They make it way too. What they should do is all income taxes off the board. None. Add a 10% sales tax on everything and cap it at that. Right. That's it. You don't have to do nothing else. Corporations, everybody, the same way with them too. They pay 10% sales tax on everything they buy and do away with all taxes other than that. Keep your tariffs going. We tax the shit out of fuel, all that shit that's taxed. There ain't no sense for us to be taxed for anything else.
I don't think so.
I mean, there's sin tax on cigarettes. Is that fair for someone that smokes and drinks that they got to pay extra taxes?
And
I've never bought a cigarette in my life. I've never had to pay a sin tax for cigarettes.
Right.
But is that fair to them people that smoke? Since I don't do it, I don't pay my fair share of that.
Apparently not.
Yeah. So, what do you think the first big change is going to be made? Like, what shoe do you think is going to drop that's going to make a big change?
Oh man, I don't know. I know what I hope. Like, I hope that all this shit gets out of our food. I hope that. I think it's going to be the border.
I think it's going to be the CIA.
Ooh.
I think they're going to shut down one of them agencies. That's what got John F. Kennedy shot.
It is. Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's got a lot of people in his corner that want like a lot of change. So,
but he's got a lot of powerful people against him that are behind the scenes.
Yeah,
George Soros, those kind of guys. George Soros is done in our country, I think, now too. I think he's going to be finished. I think we're going to see the end of that. I think that we're going to see Trump tell China to stick it up their ass and they're going to take a bunch of this land back that China's bought. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to.
Which they should.
They should do that. Now, here's the thing. If they come back, what's the lady's name that's the governor in Arkansas? Huckabee. Sarah Sanders. She says China can't come in there and buy something. They're not going to let them buy nothing in there. All the states should do that. But are you going to give that money back to the states, or who's going to take that land back? Or are you going to sell it at a marketable price and give it back to China, the money?
Fuck China. Keep their money.
Well, I mean, that's what the Saudis did with us when they nationalized their oil. They kicked us out and kept all the work we did.
Right.
So do you think that's what's
Part
going
of
to
me
happen?
just says fuck them and put that shit back on the market.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with either one of those. That's what I'm asking you. So you think that's what you would do then?
That's what I would do. Sorry, you made a bad investment.
Now
Shit changed.
I saw where the governor of Massachusetts and the governor of another lady governor has said, or maybe it's the governor of Washington, that guy that said that they are not going to work with the federal government and they will not be doing any deportation from there. So what I say you do is you send every illegal
to Massachusetts,
to Boston, and to Martha's Vineyard, because they didn't keep them last time. Mm-hmm. First of all, you're dicking with the wrong guy. The president's not going to put up that shit anyways. We're going to send them where we want to send them. And if they're here illegal, that's breaking a federal law, not a state law.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that we're doing what we're doing. But I think you're going to see, I think there's going to be some states going to fight the federal government. Now, what about the lady in the New York Attorney General that says she's still going to take Trump on?
They've already said that's not going to happen. Well, I mean, she said it's going to, but everybody else is like, no.
Did you see what the governor of New York did? Mm-mm. She talked to Trump and said, I want to work with the Trump president, do anything we can because there's a lot of federal money, blah, blah. Yeah, federal money. That's exactly right.
Right. But no, everybody in Trump seems like you're fucking up if you think this is going forward anymore.
Yeah. Do you think that we see them change up some voter laws?
I hope that's one thing that he does. And I think he's campaigned on it pretty hard.
I want to see them.
Voter laws.
I want to make
sure.
sure.
Have them. You gotta
everybody
have
should have a voter ID. If you get a check from the government, you got to show a voter ID.
Yeah.
We ought to have a voter ID with every check on it. I mean, for everybody that votes, a voter ID and a check. I think, like I said earlier, I think the military should run our voting deal and have someone that's like a poll watcher at every place, every precinct. We got plenty of soldiers. Send one or two guys there, and they sit in there and they watch what's going on. When they bring the votes in to be tabulated, someone's there from the military to watch and oversee it, and they're in charge of it. And it ought to be able smart enough to put it on a computerized system where they can push a button and it loads up and automatically who wins. It shouldn't take that long.
Elon is against any computer
because he knows how fraudulent
it can be hacked. He said, if you're not pen and paper, it can be hacked.
Okay, then do pen and paper then and stuff. But it's not that hard.
You wouldn't figure, but they've made it to where it is.
Well, the more complicated it is, the easier it is to cheat.
And I know we're in a very, very small district, but it took 2 minutes, maybe, for me and my wife handed the ID, handed
to
our
people that knew
driver's
you, right?
license to people that knew us. They went down the roll. They wrote something. I don't know if they wrote our driver's license number down or whatever. Handed us our ballot, and we were...
Did you have to sign it to your name?
Signed our name.
That's it. How hard was that?
Not hard at all.
In a community that they knew you.
And we bullshitted with these people.
Yep.
Like there was a conversation before they did all that. Like from the time they had our ID to us having the ballot might have been 30 seconds. Like we had a little bit of a conversation, and 2 minutes later we cast our vote and we were out of there.
But they knew you. That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at. We, as the citizens of our country, have let them push us in these corners to abide by rules for us, but not for everyone else.
Yeah.
And when I keep saying they knew you, is we're showing IDs to people that know you.
Yeah.
I mean, they know who the hell you are. They've known you your whole life.
Yeah.
You know, you were the prettiest baby in Knox City when you were a baby at the Watermelon Festival. These people know who you are.
Right.
And they still ask you for your ID. Mm-hmm. Your mother was every homecoming queen thing they ever had around here. Your wife, same thing.
Yeah.
Still had to show an ID.
Yeah.
I'm the guy from out of town that was mayor and judge forever that know me and had to show an ID. Mm-hmm. Didn't think nothing of it.
No.
I did think about this the other day. I went to picked up some groceries the other day for me and Mom at United in Wichita Falls, street side, do it all the time. And the lady goes, Michelle. I said, I'm Jeff, but Michelle, she orders it. It's under my name or her name, whatever it is. I need to see your ID.
for groceries?
I go, okay. I've never showed an ID. I pick them up all the time. I showed her an ID. I said, is this new or something? I don't care. I'm just curious. Why? She goes, you got alcohol.
Oh.
I go, oh, she goes, I got to ID anybody against alcohol. I'm thinking she's going to swipe it through a deal, like at the deal. Okay, and hands it back to me. I said, all you needed to do was to make sure I wasn't 21 and yes, I need to see your ID. I said, common sense don't tell you this old bald guy with the white deal is over 21 years of age. She goes,
makeup.
That's the rules. I got to do it for everybody. I said, okay.
Okay.
So then I gave her a $5 tip. Mm-hmm. I said, are y'all allowed to keep tips? We're not supposed to, but I'm not going to say nothing. We're worried about the rules, but we weren't worried about our $5 tip.
Give me that $5 back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rules are rules, lady.
Yeah. But I thought that was funny as deal. But I thought,
we're not supposed to.
Where the hell did common sense go that now, I understand if you got someone that looks like they could be, but there's no possible way to think that I'm under 21 years of age.
Rules are rules, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, so was the
Except
tip.
for the $5.
Yeah, but she took her tip.
No tax on tips, lady. You're okay. Company policy now.
Yes.
Get all the tips you want. Wouldn't you want your people to work for tips in that situation though? Like hustle those groceries out there?
I don't understand why anybody have a tip problem. That'd be the guys you can't get tips. Why?
Right.
Don't have nothing to do with me.
Just go get those groceries out a little bit faster.
You're taking groceries. My ass is too lazy to want to go in that store. So I'm glad your mom does street side.
My wife does too. Thank God for COVID.
Yeah. Thank God. I love that. Now,
one of the good things that came out of it.
The street side stuff is a great thing, and it's very convenient. But I don't know why you wouldn't let your people get a.
Yeah, I don't know why that would be policy.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know why
they're just going to work harder. I think.
Yes. Yeah, because they're going to be out freaking hustling.
Get that shit out there.
And they do a good job, and it's very convenient, and it's a way to go.
Yeah.
Was there anything surprised you about that? Are you surprised that Biden that she conceded? I did not think we would get done with the election in a week. I never would have thought we would have known who the president was on Tuesday night.
That was surprising.
There was people dragging ass on Wednesday morning everywhere.
Yeah, that was so. I had to hunt the next morning, so I stayed up a lot later than I stayed up till 10:30, which my bedtime is about 9 o'clock this time of year. And I sat down, and about 9:30, I was flipping back and forth from Fox News to CNN, and I flipped over to CNN, and they said, in Philadelphia, there are still tens of thousands of votes that are about to be dropped off, and this could swing for Harris. And I was like, fuck. It's 2020 all over again. So I stayed up another hour trying to see if there was going to be make heads or tails out of Pennsylvania. 10:30 rolled around. Nothing had come of it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I went to bed, said a little prayer, woke up the next morning, and that was the first thing I saw on my phone was Trump is president-elect. But I was just like, this is 2020 all over again. Yeah, tens of thousands of votes are going to come in at Philadelphia, and then it's going to swing to Harris. She's going to win Pennsylvania. The only thing that made me feel good was I'd seen something on Twitter that day that basically was kind of outlining everything, and the guy was basically like, yeah, he doesn't need Pennsylvania. With him, like he basically had to win Arizona. At the time, they had not called North Carolina or Georgia. But they were like, if he wins North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, there was another state in there. They're like, he doesn't have to have Pennsylvania. So that made me feel a little bit better, but went to bed, that's it.
About 11:15, I told Mom, I said, I'm going to bed. Because you're not staying. I said, no. I said, I'm not doing this crap. I said, I have looked on the computer. Arizona has quit counting ballots. Virginia had quit counting ballots, and North Carolina was still, at one place had called it.
Yeah.
And I said, or Pennsylvania had kind of stalled out. And I said, I'm not doing this crap again. I said, I'm going to bed. I told you I wasn't worried about it. I said, Trump's going to win this thing. I think I'm going to bed. Surprise me if something happens. I got to bed. About 45 minutes later, Payne calls me. What do you think about that? I'm like, huh? He goes, are you sleeping, Dad? I said, yeah. I said, what are you doing sleeping? I said, I just got tired. I said, I wasn't really worried about it. So what happened? He said, well, they just called Pennsylvania for Trump. I go, you're shitting me.
Big one.
I said, ooh, he said, he's president. I go, what? He goes, yeah. He said, he's got 267. And he said, Alaska's got 3.
Yeah.
And he's going to win Alaska. That's 270. I go, fuck yeah. So I got out of bed, and Mom, the TV was on, and she wasn't in the living room. I'm like, what the hell? And she come walking off. She was on the phone because I told Payne, I said, call your mom. She's still up.
Yeah.
And then I went in, he came in there, and I went and made me a glass of hot tea. And then I was up for 2 hours. And I couldn't sleep. But I wanted to hear Trump say it. And then I knew for sure everything was perfect when they said Kamala's told his team to go ahead and go back home and that to get some sleep, and she'd address them in the morning, just like Hillary. And I thought, well, that's the end of that shit. And then woke up the next morning and it was all basically, and here we are still waiting on Arizona and California to count their votes.
California went more red too.
Yep. He won. He's got, I saw it earlier, she has 6.3 million. He has 4.5, which that's a big difference. But you take out one just area of Los Angeles and stuff, and that's the difference. There's the whole world, the whole country did. And I saw a statistic on CNN, and that guy broke them people's heart, and he showed the counties, and he goes, Kamala is underachieving in every county she's supposed to be in. Every county. We'll show you a map of counties in the United States that
Flipped
she's overperforming.
Black.
It was nothing there. And he's like, well, I guess that tells the tale there.
Rich white people, man. They're the biggest problem.
They're the ones that voted for her.
I mean, they're the biggest fucking problem.
Why?
People that don't have to worry about shit. I mean, it's all financially. Financially, I don't have to worry about anything, and they're the ones that are voting blue for all this.
Yep. Did you see that? There was another really weird statistic about her. Oh, it's not a statistic. It's the black ladies that are pissed at white women. Joy Reid, one of them. Joy Reid says white women twice have had a chance to save our country. The way they threw us under the bus all those years with racism and stuff, and 2 times, and they didn't vote for Hillary Clinton and they didn't vote for Kamala. So they're the ones that we don't have a women president. I got news for people. I didn't vote against Kamala because she was a black female.
No.
I didn't vote against her because she was a female. I didn't get a vote against her because she was black. I voted against her because I don't have anything in common with that lady, and nothing she stands for do I stand for. If Tulsi Gabbard would have been their candidate, that would have been awful hard on people.
Yeah.
If RFK Jr. would have been their candidate, that would have been awful hard. The Democrats owe themselves for their own problems because they went so far left with Bernie Sanders' ideas and AOC, they've ruined their party.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to come back. And if Trump and them put in voter fraud and they put in and do the things they say with immigration, tariffs, and do away with a bunch of these taxes and stuff, I don't know if the Democrats will win a presidency for a long time.
Well, and I saw the new, so 2030, they're going to do a new census, and the projections are California is going to lose like 4 electoral college votes. Texas is going to pick up 4. Florida is going to pick up some. Arizona, Idaho is going to gain a couple. Basically, all the states that New York and California left from during COVID are all going to pick up electoral college votes. New York's going to lose a couple. California's going to lose a couple. And there were some other Northeast. I think Illinois is going to be down a few.
So it's going to be harder for them to just win the 12 states they win.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just, it's going to get to a point to where you just can't win New York and California and be halfway there.
Me and Payne made a bet when it was Biden and Trump, when Trump first got the nominee, and I told him I thought Trump would win 42 or 40 states. We talked about it on a podcast. I can't remember. And I think Trump won 38 states.
Let me see if I can find that. Oh, he did win 38? I was trying to count them today.
I think he won 38.
I was trying to count them today, but all the Northeast states, it got all bunched up, and I couldn't really tell. I'm trying to remember. I sent that to somebody.
But he got Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island. The 3 left steals is 10. Illinois would be 11. Colorado would be 12. New Mexico 13. Colorado 14. Or Hawaii. So we got 36 states, I guess, then is what he won.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I thought he might win New Jersey, and I thought he would win Minnesota. There's 2 things that I thought he'd say.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Minneapolis went all blue, and then up around where Ely, Minnesota was blue too. And but I don't think that you're going to see a bunch of changes on a lot of these things. That ball's coming back for holding. But we've got the countries at a real crossroads with the liberal cities, and I think a lot of that's going to change too with more police. I think you're going to see a lot more law and order. We're not going to have a George Floyd summer, and we're not going to have a Black Lives Matter summer.
Right.
I think those days are done too.
When Trump lost in 2020, I said, this is not a bad election to lose, because a lot of there's kind of a purge that's going to have to happen. I kind of saw where we were going as a country. And I thought it would be good if Trump were not at the helm for a lot of it, because they could have basically hung the past 4 years on Trump this year. And, anyway, I really think that that's the case. I really think that him losing in 2020 was the best thing that could ever happen for this country.
Well, we're gonna have the Senate, the House, and him, so we can get a lot of shit done.
Well, and I just mean, like, people got to see how crazy shit can actually be.
Yes.
You got boys competing in girl sports, just a whole lot of wackiness. And I think had it not been for Trump not being there, I don't know. I think we'd be looking at a different world right now. Had he won in 2020 and some of that shit happened, because I just think this was the election to win, because everybody's eyes had opened up to how backwards things were getting in the country.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward. I think the first time in a long time, I'm pretty excited since last time Trump won.
I don't even think I was this excited when Trump won in 2016.
Well, I think now we had a lot of unknowns now. I don't think it's unknown. I think it's much of big dogs and people. I think we're going to go show people who the boss is and what we can do to fix things. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's going to happen. I love the way we're going. What I like to do now is I think a lot of the backstabbers that were there that were fucking Trump are gone now. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to control the House and the Senate. I think we can get a lot of things done that need to be done to make America first. I think there's a lot of foreign aid that's going to get cut down. I think Trump is going to go to the White House on Wednesday. I think he's going to sit down. The transition is going to start happening pretty fast. I think he'll be doing business by day one. The radical left wants them to see him put Kamala in office right now, let him retire, and then let her face him and do all this shit. She don't want no part of that shit. We're never going to hear from Kamala Harris again.
You don't think so?
No.
Right off into the sunset?
Yeah. Well, she'll probably
Does
try
she
to
get
throw
her Senate seat back?
No.
That's taken
no,
already?
It's gone. They've already filled that. Now dickhead Schiff got it, or whatever his name is.
Oh.
I think you're going to see her. She's going to fade off into the sunset. There is no doubt about that at all. That's going to happen. Then she's going to put her name in the hat to be president. She's going to run in 2028. She's going to put her name up, but she'll never be that. She won't be close.
She's not going to get any delegates again.
No. That's what I'm saying. So, but she'll.
No, I know that. But how embarrassing would that be to her to go from being the Democratic presidential nominee in 24, and then she throws her name in the hat in 28, and it's going to be the same thing that she did the first time she ran.
Yeah.
She's not going to win anything.
She doesn't have a chance in hell of getting that seat again. They've learned their lesson. They didn't want her this time. Mm-hmm. They had to put her in there, but she's not going to run. Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, or some young person we don't know about is going to get involved. But if Trump does a really good job, and J.D. Vance has been very, very sharp, and I've been very impressed with him, I just think if the world gets turned around, and everybody gets money, and we start getting I think everybody's on the side of getting medicine costs down and getting the fraud in the medicine and the foods. I don't understand why anybody would be against that. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be about America first. The left says we're going to put all these tariffs, prices are going to skyrocket. No, what's going to happen? People are going to start building shit here again.
I'll be the first to admit, I talked a lot of shit about J.D. Vance. I was not happy with that pick. The times that I've heard him speak, I'm very, very impressed with how articulate he is. I think he's perfect.
He's a sharp guy.
He's a sharp guy, and
I was the same as you.
He articulates the argument very well, which is important. Which is one thing that Trump does not do well. He doesn't tell you why. He doesn't explain very well. He just kind of says what he's going to do, paints with a broad brush, and then you got J.D. Vance with that scalpel, and he's like, okay, well, this is how we're going to fix this.
I think you're correct on all of that. And one of the things is that J.D. Vance is more of a politician than Trump is. Mm-hmm. He's also probably a smarter guy than Trump is when it comes to books, speaking, debating, oral arguments, where Trump is a New York businessman guy.
Just a sledgehammer.
And he's not going to put up with a lot of shit. And I think they handle each other very well.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a very, like I said, it's going to be an interesting 4 years. Hopefully we can get on track and we become more America friendly.
I really hope we're not sitting here in 4 years and being like, oh God, or 2 years when the next election is. And like, oh shit, we're going to lose the House. We're going to lose the Senate.
Yes, we do not.
We're going to be a lame duck. Like, I really hope that this is the shot in the arm that America needs to get on the right track.
Well, we need
get healthy, get medicine costs down, get food costs down, housing, just kind of get everything back in order, and then move forward. It's a great opportunity.
Do you think the government should be in the insulin business?
I don't think the government should be in any business.
Okay, I agree with you, but my question is, do you think they should be in the insulin business, though?
I don't think that they should be in any business.
Okay.
I think that we've proven that time and time again that when the government gets involved with anything, shit gets out of control and unaffordable.
I'm with you 100% on that. I just don't know what the answer is than to tell any company what they can sell their product at. We ought to have less copyright stuff on medicines, where it should be more of a open where companies can compete for that dollar.
Right.
Because you come up with a medicine, and people spend a lot of money on R&D to come up with these things. But if insulin is something we all need, or we ought to be able to have it if we need it, it shouldn't be. It should be to the lowest bidder that can make it a good quality product and still make a profit. There's got to be a fairness there for them companies to make a profit.
Right.
But they shouldn't be able to hold something over your head like that's a trial cancer drug. It's $10,000 a vial. Why does it cost that freaking much if it's going to cure cancer? Mm-hmm. Let's make it affordable.
Well, I think a lot of times insurance gets involved. Like there's a pharmacist in Houston. I've tried to get him on the podcast. He never returned my message, but he runs his pharmacy on cost plus $10. Whatever it costs him to get that drug, he's going to add $10 to it. That's what he's going to sell it to you.
You got to
for.
sell a lot of shit at $10 to make money to keep it business.
He's more. He said he's busier now than he ever was before.
Well, good for him.
He's got less overhead because he doesn't have to have 3 ladies haggling with insurance. It's him, his wife, maybe one other person.
So he doesn't do any. You got to pay cash money.
Cash money.
So if it cost him $47, it costs you $57.
It's going to cost you $57.
That's a really good idea.
He said, I'm not having to pay people to stay on top of insurance claims. He said it was the best thing he ever did for his business.
Good for him then.
And people get to see what drugs actually cost. And he's got a TikTok. I'll pull it up if I can find the guy. But he tells you, like, this drug cost me this. With insurance, it would have been whatever. Pharmacist. Let's see. Probably not going to find it that easily. Here we go.
Why are medications cheaper when you don't use insurance than if you do use insurance? That's something we get a lot of questions here because it's confusing. We just buy the medication, we charge you that much for it, plus we charge $10 for a fee for service. Simple. When you use insurance, you use this secret middleman called the PBM. This middleman actually collects 40% of the costs of prescriptions in the US. 40%. They decide if you get covered, they decide how much it'll cost you, they decide how much the pharmacy will get paid, and they decide how much your employer will pay. And your employer is you. They're charging you twice. A lot of people don't realize, but we're actually cheaper than 40% of insurance copays, and we're cheaper than 70% of employer costs. We're cheaper twice. You're paying 2 times more than we're paying. It's crazy. So, cut out the middleman, 40% of expenses gone, save money. It's simple. Give us a look.
Now, how long are these insurance or these drug companies going to sell to him, though? That's what I'd be worried about because they all get in there together doing shit.
Right. Earlier, there was one where he was outlining maybe this one.
This is one of the most overpriced drugs you will ever hear of. It is generic Zytiga. If you're a Medicare patient and you fill this, then they are charging the government $3,000 every time you fill it. Can you guess what it costs if you fill it with us? $38.29. $38 is what we charge. They're charging Medicare $3,000. This drug was filled on Medicare nearly 500,000 times in 2021.
Sure.
That means if they filled it with us, rather than charging the insurance, we would have saved Medicare $1.5 billion.
Okay, stop right there. That's the kind of shit that Elon Musk needs to fix.
Right.
Someone from the government ought to say, whoa, hold on. But I'm betting you that someone in that company is kin to someone in Congress or Senate.
The drug company?
Yes.
Right.
You know, that's why they do that crap all the time. Mm-hmm. That's just like if you go by these military bases, they got all ththese solar panels on there. Well, you go look at all their solar panels and stuff. You can't tell me that someone that's in Congress don't have a cousin or nephew or somebody that's in the fucking solar panel business. Because I just don't trust our government.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just shit like that. Just like he said, $1.5 billion we could have saved if they'd have just done cost plus $10.
Yep.
I mean, it's just simple shit like that. He had one where he listed like 6 different drugs. It's not going to show it to me. Or maybe if I went to his page rather than just marijuana. Was this the one we just watched?
Yes.
Anyway.
That's just crazy how that works, though.
But that was just on one drug.
Overcharged. At $1.5 billion overcharged to the
on
government.
one drug.
Yep. It's a lot of profit to a company.
Yeah. But that's what shit that they don't want out.
Nope.
But
Too much meds. I'm getting it fixed.
Yep.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. Y'all have a great week. First week of hunting season for us is down. We had a really good first week. Got
Sloppy
our asses whipped today. It's been rainy and muddy. It's supposed to start raining again on Friday again. Y'all all be safe out there.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I just saw it.
No, it's not.
Look it up. Friday and Saturday rain chances again.
Glad Blake's here. He forgot his waders.
Of course he did. He did not forget them. He just didn't bring them. That's the big difference between forgetting and not bringing them.
I don't think he'd have done that on purpose.
I do.
No faith.
Yep, that's okay. I got some for him here, so he's good. He said,
Right. We got Husky in the back.
Yep. All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Have a great week.
Love you. Bye. Check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Mossberg, Lucky Duck, MLR Graphics, Stanfield and Hunting Outfitters, Hemp Hill Farm. Use our promo code BHP, Mallard Bay, Mitch Hall Chevrolet, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Bull and Briar Leather, Ducks Unlimited, Pacific Call. We got a promo code there, BHP25, and Boss Shot Shells.